Captain Ethan Cole, a human explorer, arriving on a distant, mysterious planet called Zyphora, which is ruled by a powerful alien queen named Selara. Zyphora is known in the galaxy for its beauty and danger, with floating cities, bioluminescent forests and creatures that shimmer in colors humans have never seen. Ethan is officially on a diplomatic mission, but he knows there's a hidden agenda. His advanced human technology could change the balance of power in the galaxy. As his ship descends, alarms go off in the alien capital. Selara senses his arrival in her mind. Humans are rare here, and she assumes he's a visitor seeking her court. Ethan is escorted to the palace, a massive crystalline structure hovering above a glowing lake. Selara is both regal and intimidating, her presence radiating power. She tests Ethan with polite but probing questions, trying to gauge his intentions. Ethan notices subtle anomalies, alien guards acting unusually cautious, whispers among attendants, and a strange energy that seems drawn to him. He realizes something about him triggers the alien's instincts, but he doesn't yet know what. During dinner, Selara probes deeper, and Ethan experiences a strange vision, as if memories not his own are flickering in his mind. He hides his confusion, sensing that Selara is somehow linked to this mysterious force. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The stars stretched endlessly across the black canvas of space as Captain Ethan Cole guided his small exploration ship toward the distant planet Zyphora. From the scans, the planet appeared serene, glowing faintly with bioluminescent light that shimmered like a living jewel. Yet, Ethan knew better than to trust appearances. Every report about Zyphora hinted at its beauty, hiding a deadly complexity. From the floating cities to the unpredictable wildlife and the intelligence of the ruling alien species. Ethan had been chosen for this mission because he was human, because humans were rare here, and because only someone from his species could be the key to what awaited him. Officially, he was on a diplomatic mission. Unofficially, he carried knowledge and technology that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. He adjusted the ship's trajectory, heart beating faster as the planet grew larger in the viewport. As he descended through the atmosphere, his instruments detected strange energy readings. His stomach tightened. The energy was not hostile but aware, as if the planet itself were watching him. That thought made him shiver. Zyphora had never had a human visitor this close before, not in recorded history. When the ship touched down on the crystalline landing pad, a team of alien guards approached. They moved with grace and precision, their pale blue skin almost glowing in the dim light, eyes sharp and observant. Ethan stepped out, shielding his eyes from the reflection of the floating city above. Towers made of transparent crystal floated in the air, suspended by forces he did not yet understand. Waterfalls glowed with bioluminescent light, and the forests below pulsed softly, alive with creatures he could barely comprehend. A voice spoke in his mind, smooth and commanding. "You are far from home, human, why have you come?" Ethan froze. He was not yet accustomed to telepathic communication. I come in peace," he said carefully. "I am here to learn and to cooperate." The voice belonged to the ruler of this world, the Queen Selara. She had sensed him even before he landed. To her, humans were unpredictable, but this one, something about him felt different. There was a power, a familiarity she could not explain. The guards escorted Ethan to the palace, a structure of massive crystals floating above a glowing lake. He marveled at the architecture. Each surface reflected the light of the bioluminescent forests below, creating a kaleidoscope of colors. The air itself seemed alive with energy, and Ethan felt a strange hum in his chest, as if the planet recognized him. Selara appeared before him in the grand hall, her presence radiant and commanding. She was taller than most humans, with elongated limbs, skin that shimmered like liquid silver, and eyes that glowed faintly. Her hair floated slightly, defying gravity as though it responded to some unseen force. Ethan could barely speak, mesmerized by her aura of power and grace. "Welcome to Zyphora, human," Selara said, her voice calm but filled with authority. "I have sensed you for a long time. Few humans reach this place, few would dare." Ethan bowed slightly. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I come with respect and curiosity. I wish to understand your world and to share knowledge." Selara studied him carefully. Her eyes seemed to look through him, weighing his intentions, reading the subtle shifts in his body language and sensing the truth behind his words. For a moment, Ethan felt as if his mind were transparent to her, as if every thought and secret desire could be seen. He forced himself to remain calm. During dinner, Selara asked questions about his home, his people, and the technology he carried. She was polite but probing, testing him with careful phrasing, trying to determine if he was a threat. Ethan answered truthfully but carefully, aware that revealing too much too soon could provoke suspicion. He noticed subtle things about the palace and its inhabitants that set him on edge. Guards whispered among themselves and glanced at him with more than routine vigilance. Servants moved with extra precision, their eyes darting nervously. The air was thick with a strange energy that seemed drawn to him, following his movements, reacting to his presence. Ethan realized that he was not just visiting a palace. He had stepped into a living, breathing organism that sensed him deeply. After dinner, unable to sleep, Ethan wandered the palace halls under the cover of darkness. Crystals lining the corridors glowed faintly, casting a soft light that revealed intricate carvings of past rulers, battles, and celestial events. He stumbled upon a hidden chamber, barely noticeable behind a sliding crystal panel. Inside, he found ancient artifacts and depictions of a human-like figure that seemed out of place among the alien relics. He felt a strange pull as he approached a pedestal with a crystal tablet. Images flickered in his mind, visions of battles long past, strange human faces intertwined with alien figures, and a sense of destiny he could not fully grasp. It was as if the memories of another human were embedded in the planet itself, awakening at his presence. Suddenly the air shifted, and Ethan felt a presence behind him. He turned to see Selara standing there, her expression unreadable. "You should not be here," she said calmly, though her eyes were wide with surprise and something else he could not identify. "Yet you were drawn to this place, were you not?" Ethan bowed slightly, trying to explain. "I did not mean to intrude, Your Majesty. I felt that this room held knowledge I needed. I mean no harm." Selara stepped closer, studying him intensely. She could feel the energy within him, the strange connection that resonated with Zyphora itself. There was fear, yes, but also awe. He was no ordinary human. Something about him was ancient, powerful, and familiar, a spark that connected with her people's deepest memories. "You are not just a visitor," she whispered almost to herself. "There is something more." Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. He sensed she was discovering something profound, something that could change everything she believed about humans. "Your Majesty, if I am more than I appear, it is not by my choice. I am here to understand, to learn, and perhaps to help." Selara's eyes narrowed. "Perhaps, or perhaps destiny has brought you here and you do not yet understand your role." The palace seemed to hum in agreement, the crystals pulsing faintly in response to their conversation. Ethan realized that Zyphora was alive in ways he had never imagined. The planet, the palace, the people, they were all part of a network that could sense intention, truth, and lineage. He wondered what role he played in this web of life and history. Selara's voice broke the silence. "Come, you must look into my mind. Only then will you understand the depth of what you have stumbled upon." Ethan hesitated for a moment. Telepathy was rare among humans, and entering an alien mind could be dangerous. Yet he sensed urgency, a silent plea from the Queen for understanding. He nodded, focusing his mind as Selara guided him. For a moment everything went black. Then images flooded his mind, memories not his own, ancient battles, the rise and fall of civilizations, and a human figure whose presence resonated with his own. He saw Selara's people, their hopes, fears, and struggles, and he saw himself, or at least someone like him, intertwined with their past, a key figure in a prophecy long forgotten. Selara gasped, pulling slightly back. "It cannot be, you are the one I have seen in visions, the one who was meant to arrive." Ethan felt the weight of destiny pressing down on him. He was no longer just an explorer. He was a link between species, a living connection between humans and Zyphora, carrying the memories and hopes of generations. He could feel the responsibility settling over him like a mantle. "What does this mean?" he asked quietly, struggling to process the revelations flooding his mind. "It means," Selara said slowly, voice trembling, "that everything I believed about humans, about our history, was incomplete. You are not merely a visitor. You are part of something far greater than either of us could have imagined." The palace seemed to pulse with life, as if it sensed the truth being revealed. Guards and attendants moved cautiously, sensing the shift in energy. Ethan knew that this revelation could not remain a secret for long. If others discovered him, if the wrong faction learned of his identity, chaos could erupt. Selara stepped closer, her glowing eyes locking with his. "We must proceed carefully. For now you are safe here, but the world outside, it will not understand, and some will seek to destroy what they do not comprehend. Ethan nodded, understanding that the mission had shifted. It was no longer just about exploration. It was about survival, trust, and navigating a destiny that was larger than either of them. The first part of his journey ended with uncertainty, with awe, and with a revelation that shook both human and alien perceptions of history and power. Outside, the glowing city of Zyphora pulsed under the starlit sky, unaware that a human had arrived to change the course of its future. And somewhere deep within the palace, Queen Selara whispered to herself, "The truth at last, it is here." The next morning, the pale light of Zyphora's twin suns streamed through the crystal windows of the palace. Captain Ethan Cole woke to a strange calm. The air hummed with quiet energy, the pulse of the planet itself. He had slept little, haunted by the visions from Selara's mind. The memories of past battles, the ancient human figure intertwined with Zyphora's history, and the sense of destiny pressed on him like a weight he could not ignore. Selara had not yet come to speak with him in person. Instead, the palace moved around him with an almost sentient grace. Guards whispered quietly, attendants hovered at the edge of his vision, and the walls themselves seemed to shimmer with curiosity. He realized once again that Zyphora was alive in ways no human mind could fully comprehend. When Selara finally appeared, she looked different than the day before. The usual regality in her posture was tinged with vulnerability. Her silver skin seemed to glow brighter, her eyes wide with the weight of discovery. "You have not slept?" she asked, her voice calm but edged with tension. "I could not," Ethan admitted. "The visions, your memories, they are overwhelming. I think I understand in part why you reacted the way you did." Selara nodded slowly. "And yet, even knowing this, I am unsure how to proceed. You are not just a human visitor. You are part of Zyphora's history, and your presence stirs forces I have long tried to control." Ethan followed her to a balcony overlooking the glowing city. The crystal towers floated silently above the forests, their reflections dancing in the water below. He could feel the planet's pulse, the same rhythm that had surged in the hidden chamber last night. "I need to know," Selara said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Do you understand your role here?" "I think so," Ethan replied cautiously. "I am here to connect humans and Zyphorians to help. But I also feel like there is something I am missing, something about your people, your history, that I do not fully grasp yet." Selara's eyes narrowed, studying him. "Your feelings are correct. Zyphora's history with humans has been erased from memory, hidden in shadows and prophecies. You are the living key to restoring it, but many here do not yet understand. Some will see you as a threat." Before Ethan could respond, the palace alarms blared. Red light flashed across the crystal walls. Guards rushed past them, weapons drawn, moving with precision and urgency. "What is happening?" Ethan asked, alarm rising in his chest. Selara's expression hardened. "A faction within the palace has discovered your presence. They do not understand your importance. They intend to eliminate you before your influence spreads." Ethan's stomach dropped. He had known that danger was inevitable, but he had not expected it so soon. He glanced at Selara, whose calm authority masked the urgency of the situation. "What should we do?" "We fight," Selara said simply, "but not with force alone. You must learn to channel Zyphora's energy, it responds to you. You are part of it, and if you embrace that connection, we can protect this palace and its people." Selara led Ethan through corridors that twisted and shifted, almost as if the palace itself were moving to shield them. She brought him to the heart of Zyphora, a massive chamber filled with pulsating crystal energy. The air vibrated with raw power, and Ethan felt the energy stir within him. "Focus," Selara instructed. "Feel it flow through you. It is not foreign. It is part of your lineage, your destiny." Ethan closed his eyes and reached out with his mind. He felt the energy respond, as if the planet itself recognized him as a descendant of the ancient human figure he had seen in visions. Power surged through him, not painful but invigorating. He could feel the walls of the palace responding, the lights brightening, the energy flowing in harmony with his heartbeat. "Good," Selara said, her eyes glowing with relief. "You are ready." The attack came moments later. A group of rogue Zyphorians, loyal to no faction and driven by fear and greed, burst into the chamber. Their weapons fired energy pulses, each blast striking the crystal walls and sending sparks into the air. Ethan stepped forward instinctively, raising his hands. Energy flowed from him, weaving into the structure of the palace. Pulses of light erupted, creating barriers and pushing back the attackers. Selara moved alongside him, her own power amplifying his. Together, human ingenuity and Zyphorian energy created a force that no ordinary faction could withstand. Guards and attendants rallied behind them, forming a defensive line that pushed the intruders back toward the palace gates. Amid the chaos, Ethan realized something profound. This was more than a battle. It was the moment he was meant to face. Every vision, every memory, every story of the ancient human who had once saved Zyphora was leading to this confrontation. And now, he was fulfilling that role. The attackers faltered, unprepared for the combined strength of human determination and Zyphorian power. Ethan focused, channeling the planet's energy through his mind and body, directing it with precision. The palace responded, crystal structures shifting and realigning to protect the heart of Zyphora. Energy barriers erupted, forming walls of light that encased the intruders and forced them to retreat. Selara turned to him, her eyes filled with awe. "You have done it. You are truly the one from the prophecies." Ethan lowered his hands, breathing heavily. The palace was intact, the rogue faction defeated or fleeing into the forests. But he knew this was only the beginning. The revelation of his identity would ripple across Zyphora, stirring both awe and fear. In the aftermath, Selara summoned the council. Leaders from every faction of Zyphora gathered, their expressions a mix of suspicion and curiosity. Selara stepped forward, her presence commanding silence. "This human is not a visitor," she announced. "He is part of our history, part of our future. He carries the legacy of the one who once saved our people. To deny him now is to deny our own survival and potential." Murmurs spread through the council. Some leaned forward intrigued, while others scowled, unwilling to accept what they could not fully understand. Ethan stepped forward, choosing his words carefully. "I am here to help," he said. "I do not seek power or control. I want to learn from you and share what I know so we can face the future together. The past has shown that our species are connected in ways long forgotten. It is time we embrace that connection, not fear it." Selara's gaze met his, and he felt a silent bond forming between them. She nodded, reinforcing his words with her authority. Slowly, the council began to listen. Skepticism remained, but curiosity and hope began to take root. In the following days, Ethan and Selara worked together to heal the divisions within the palace. He learned more about Zyphora's history, its people, and the energy that flowed through the planet. He discovered that humans had once been protectors of Zyphora, their technology and courage shaping its destiny in ways that had been erased over generations. Selara, in turn, shared the knowledge of her people, teaching Ethan to harness Zyphora's energy more efficiently, to communicate telepathically, and to understand the subtle political and social nuances that governed their society. A bond grew between them, one of respect, trust, and a quiet admiration that neither could ignore. Yet danger still lurked. Rogue factions remained, and news of a human with power over Zyphora spread beyond the palace walls. Alliances would be tested, and the galaxy itself might take notice. But for now, Ethan had found his place. He was no longer just a visitor. He was a bridge, a protector, and a link between species that had long forgotten each other. One evening, Selara led him to the highest balcony of the palace, overlooking the glowing forests and floating cities. The twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the landscape. "You have changed everything," she said softly. "Your presence has awakened hope where there was fear and courage where there was doubt. But tell me, Ethan, do you understand what you have truly become?" Ethan looked out at the city, feeling the pulse of Zyphora beneath him. "I think I do. I am not just a human here. I am part of something bigger, part of a destiny that belongs to both our species, and I will do everything I can to protect it." Selara smiled faintly, a mixture of relief and awe. "Then we are partners, not just in survival but in the future of Zyphora. Together we will face whatever comes next." As night fell over the crystalline towers, Ethan and Selara stood side by side, gazing at the glowing city. The planet hummed beneath them, alive and vibrant, responding to the bond that now connected human and Zyphorian. The stars above twinkled with promise, and for the first time, Ethan felt that he was exactly where he was meant to be. The threat of rogue factions, political intrigue, and the unknown dangers of the galaxy would always exist, but Ethan now had allies, knowledge, and purpose. He was no longer a visitor. He was a part of Zyphora, a living bridge between worlds, and the spark of a new era that would reshape the galaxy forever. And somewhere deep within the palace, Selara whispered, her voice carrying on the energy of the planet itself. "The truth has arrived, and it will not be denied." The humans and Zyphorians had begun their journey toward unity, with Ethan standing at the forefront. His arrival had shaken an alien queen, revealed ancient truths, and ignited hope in a world that had long forgotten the courage of humanity. The galaxy would never be the same.